clash of the comfy sleep mats. We've got the Therm-A-Rest NeoLoft and the big Agnes Rapide SL. Ding ding, round one. So two big brands in the outdoor sleeping world. We've got Therm-A-Rest and Big Agnes. Obviously, they've got a lot of comparisons and there's some differences as well. Quick overview of both. Neither of these are trying to be the lightest on the market. They're trying to bring you lots of comfort, but which does it better and which packs smaller? So let's start with size and weight. As you can see, the Big Agnes wins in that front. It goes a bit smaller and it's lighter. That is 645 grams for the regular wide, and the NeoLoft comes in at 850 grams, I think around that, for the regular wide as well. So about 200 grams lighter, and you can see it does pack a little bit smaller, but if I'm honest, not a lot smaller. Because one thing I would say is packing this into its stuff bag is really easy. It gets in there pretty easily and I can squish it and there's room to maneuver. The Big Agnes, however, has got a smaller stuff sack, but it's a bit of an effort to get it in there. But then once in your rucksack, it takes up less space. Now, another comparison that's really pretty similar, R ratings, which is warmer. Big Agnes wins again there at 4.8 R rating, but then 4.7, you're probably not going to notice any differences. What that means is that's 3 season, pushing into 4 unless it's really, really cold. So sizes, obviously we've just said they're both their regular wides. However, the regular wide in the NeoLoft is at least 2 centimeters longer, and I think it's 2 centimeters wider as well. 185 length and 66 centimeters wide, 183 centimeters long and 64 centimeters wide. So it's a bigger mat. Of course it's going to be heavier. So I've just laid them on top of each other, and even though they're meant to be slightly different sizes, they pretty much look the same to me. So size again, which is thicker? So 11.7 centimeters thick for the NeoLoft. That is comfy. That is as comfy as sleeping at home. Honestly, it's lovely. Big Agnes still pretty thick though. 9 centimeters on the area you're sleeping at and 11 centimeters on the side so you don't roll off. Pump sack challenge. Both come with pump sacks. I would say the Big Agnes is lighter, but look at the NeoLoft, it's a whopper. Considering it's a bigger mat, it took the same amount of blows, if not less, to blow the thing up. So I must admit, I really like that, but then this is lighter. Just a quick note on that, I find both of them really easy to do up considering they're such huge pads. Noise rating. Now that sounds a bit of a weird thing to talk about when you're talking about sleeping pads or mats, but that is a consideration. The warmth from the Big Agnes comes from 2 reflective films that are inside, and while it's one of the quietest to use this technology, it still makes a little bit of a noise. However, the Therm-A-Rest NeoLoft doesn't use that. The main construction gives you the warmth, and I would say it's nigh on silent. Really comfy and very quiet. Please don't say that's a negative of this, because it's still a really quiet mat compared to many of its competitors. Comfort rating. So with this, it's got a double ripstop nylon to make the outer face fabric, which is very robust and it's also pretty comfortable. However, the stretch knit of the NeoLoft is really plush, really nice. Feels like you've got a sheet or a base layer over your mat. So I would say it does have a nicer, comfier feel. So overall verdict, which is better? I actually think for 2 products that are extremely similar, they do have enough differences to be not directly compared. If you want overall comfort and you're car camping or not that worried about weight, I'd probably go NeoLoft. It's super comfy, really quiet, and feels like you're sleeping at home. However, if you want comfort, but you're actually going on a long backpacking trip and you're wanting to keep weight down and pack size down, the Rapide could well be the option for you. Still really comfy, but does pack that a little bit smaller, and 200 grams lighter, that's quite a bit. So of course, price is always something you want to think about as well. The Rapide SL costs £190 for the regular wide. Do bear in mind that the narrower version is cheaper at £150, and the NeoLoft comes in at retailing at £250. Bear in mind that's the recommended retail price, and sometimes things change. Whichever you choose, 2 of the comfiest mats I've ever tested. You can't go wrong with either.